Greetings, viewers and voyeurs. You know, I've lived in small towns more or less my entire life, and there are things about living in small towns that can get on your nerves. For example, when everyone thinks they know everything about your personal life when they blatantly don't. But the sense of community I do enjoy, and I like being recognized, even if sometimes it's not always for the right reasons. Anyway, right, so the real problem, though, I find, especially now that I'm older, living in a small town, is being single. Being single in a small town kind of sucks. And I want to do like a little visual demonstration of how and why it's single to help you understand. All right, so I wanted to do a little drawing of basically of women, but I was kind of stuck as to how to draw women in a symbolic way. You know, I thought, oh, well, you know, because if I get too into it, I want to draw a lot of them, and so I can't really do too many artistic embellishments because it would take forever. So I thought, okay, well, fine, just do stick figures, right? But stick figure women is a bit tricky because I first started off with one like this. But I thought, well, you know, that's maybe not fair because most women don't wear skirts and dresses these days, and so that might come across as a little bit sexist, which of course meant that this one is completely out of the question. And so then I thought, okay, well, perhaps I should just like settle on the traditional feminine symbol like this. But the problem is that the feminine symbol looks a little bit too much like a stick man. And I didn't want people to think that it was men I was talking about, so I decided I would opt for the original one, this one here. You see that? There we go. So here's my piece of paper. Okay, can you see all the women I've drawn here? This represents all the women in my town. Okay, now I'm going to take a red marker and I'm going to draw a line around the group of women in my town who probably or maybe fancy me. Okay, so out of all these women, you probably get about this sort of many who may fancy me. Maybe. Okay? And then I'm going to get a black marker here, and I'm going to draw a line around all the women in my town that I may fancy. Okay? And that's going to be something like this. Like this. Okay? Now, as you can see, there's a slight overlap. And if we're going to narrow the field down a little bit, we have to knock a few categories of women off here. So I'm going to draw a black line, since I got the marker in my hand here. I'm going to draw a black line through all the women who are either too old to fancy or to have a decent, successful relationship with, or too young to fancy or have a decent, successful relationship with. So I'll draw a line through all of those women like that. Okay? So then you draw a line through all of the women who are either taken via marriage or have a boyfriend, and that's going to be probably a lot of people. So we're talking about that. Apologies for the rough cut, a bit of an interruption with customers there. Anyway, so I've drawn a line through with a red marker all of the women who are either have a boyfriend who are or are married, which is like that. Okay. Okay. And now we have to draw a line, obviously, through crazy women, which is like that. Okay. And then we have to draw a line through women who are not emotionally available, so we put it that way, yeah? And that's going to be something like this. Which, as you can see, basically means that I've got this proportion of women who fancy me, who I might fancy, who aren't married, who aren't too young, who aren't too old, and who aren't crazy. And the thing is, out of this group of women, I've already gone out with all of them. So what do I do?